Welcome, everyone, to the Enlightened Entrepreneur Workshop. My name is Beth DesMarais. My spiritual name is also Gita. And this is going to be the first of a two-part workshop series into the mind of an enlightened entrepreneur. So we're literally going to be building the mindset of an entrepreneur today. Today is the first day, and you'll be starting with an amazing technique from Dr. Pillai. So a little bit about how this workshop is going to go. We're going to first do a process meditation from Millionaire Yoga. It is the foundational teachings of Dr. Pillai to energize the different brain centers that help build and train the mind to become an entrepreneur. The second part is we'll do a little testing technique that will sort of test how the process meditation worked for you and how it changed your mindset. And then lastly, at the end, we're going to go a little bit into the Enlightened Entrepreneur class, the actual 6-week class that we'll be conducting in about 2 weeks. So first, a little bit about this meditation. And this is going to be a bit of an interactive session. So get ready to kind of be able to sort of analyze your thoughts and be able to kind of perceive them and perceive the types of thoughts you're having. But today what we're going to do is we're going to go into a meditation that cleanses the negative cortex. So what does that really mean? It means that it's going to remove your attachments or your belief system about your identities. And Dr. Pillai talks a lot about how our identity keeps us back. He talks about, how my name is Beth and I do such and such. I went to this school, or I had this kind of education. I make so much money, whatever my marital status might be as well. But the thing about these identities is they put us in a box, and it's the opportunities that we miss that is so limiting about identities, because we have this set belief about ourselves, so that when an opportunity comes that might be outside of this box of belief that we have, then we're unable to take advantage of it. The second thing it does is it doesn't allow you to, what Dr. Pillai calls, mine your thoughts. You cannot mine your thoughts for a great idea. And the start of an entrepreneurial venture is actually having a great idea. And that idea is one that comes from the divine mind. The divine mind works when we get out of the way, when our identities move aside, when we're open to new possibilities, and we're positive about even just accessing that part of the brain. So, and actually, a lot of times it doesn't have anything to do with what the idea may be. So today what we're going to do is we're going to have this process meditation from Dr. Pillai that clears our identities, our preconceived thoughts of who we are and what's possible for us. Particularly, of course, it's the limiting thoughts, so that we can blue sky, if you will, a new future, a new destiny. This meditation, when I first did it, really was like a clean slate. I felt like I could press the reset button in a way that I have not been able to do in a long time, because it just cleared the path for an amazing new consciousness to come. So we're going to have that experience today. So what I want everyone to do is just sort of close your eyes and become quiet. Become quiet to prepare yourself for the meditation, which will be playing. It will be an audio meditation as well. There'll be a visual, but primarily it will be audio. So go ahead and close your eyes, and we're going to take just a few moments here just to kind of quiet our mind. And if you have to, you can focus on a space between your eyebrows or something. Just try and quiet your mind. This will be a moment of silence. Now, before we go into the meditation, I want you to reflect back on this previous minute that we just had in silence. Was it hard for you to be in silence? Did you have a lot of thoughts? Or are you wondering, when are we going to start this meditation? So I want you to reflect back on that time, that previous time, and just tell me after the meditation how difficult that might have been or how easy that might have been for you. So we'll talk a little bit later after the meditation. Okay, we'll go ahead and start this process meditation from Dr. Pillai of cleansing the negative cortex.
So cleansing the negative cortex. We have to cleanse the negative cortex of all identity and then put the identity of a millionaire. How to cleanse this area? That's what we are going to do now. Okay, I'm going to give you a simple technique, a meditation for that. It has a philosophy that will take me a few hours to explain, so I'm not going to do that. But I will give you just like a pill. All the things that I give you, it's just like a pill, because I don't want to take a lot of time to explain that. And it is something like, if you have a headache, you give aspirin, and then nobody need to know about the pharmacology aspirin. You just take the aspirin and then your headache is gone. That's how it is. So this is just like a pill for stopping the negative cortex and getting you beyond an unlimited identity. Now we will do the technique. Close your eyes. Now focus attention on your brain. You can just focus on your forehead. That's pretty easy to do. And then if you move upwards again, you can go to the parietal lobe. That gives you a spatial orientation, where you are sitting, where are you, and also partly your identity too. And then there is the occipital lobe, it's involved with your vision. And on the sides, just above the ears, are the temporal lobes. You can focus on all that and then go back to the third eye, through which we can enter the pineal gland. And as I said, the pineal gland can give you access to a timeless zone where you can change dimensions. Now here is the technique. Now we are just focusing attention on different parts of the cortex. Now focus attention on the midbrain too. Just imagine the midbrain. Now fill the entire brain with the energy of the sky in order to help you with the visualization. Just see your whole brain filled with a blue sky. There are no clouds. A blue sky. Ethereal in nature, no substance, but filled with the sky. This is going to cleanse your negativity in the different cortexes and the rest of the brain as well. Imagine the blue sky occupying the entire brain. It will accelerate your time. Then you will not be waiting forever because you are filling yourself, the brain, with space vibrations. Then you will understand my teaching that waiting is a waste of time. Ordinarily, the rest of the brain is saying waiting is proper and we have to wait. But it is a waste of time. Filling the brain with the sky will change it. It will give you unlimited consciousness called Chit, Chitakasha in Sanskrit. And from which your limited mind comes into being, Chitta. One is Chit, the sky. The sky is the limit. It's a book by Wayne Dyer, to whom I gave the hour meditation. And he developed this book, Manifest Your Destiny, based on that. You can manifest your destiny. That is the truth. And how do you do it? By changing the brain. You're filling your brain with the energy of the sky, the blue sky. The frontal, the parietal, the occipital, the temporal lobes, which is neocortex area. And also go inside and fill the brain with this energy. You are delimiting yourself. You have not the old identity, I am John the carpenter. Who said that? You are reinforcing that identity. That identity should be gone. As more and more space energy, sky energy is penetrating into every neuron of your brain, the identity is gone. That's how you cleanse the negative cortex. This is what has to be taught in schools. Within a few minutes you can change tremendous amount of change within the neurons. The neurons reorient themselves with this new energy, which is unlimited. So instead of asking the question, how can I change my negative attitudes, and then try to read many books and waste time on seminars and workshops, just save that money, sit down, in your apartment or house, and fill your cortex and the midbrain and every part of the brain with a space energy. This is yogic technology. And this doesn't cost any money. I'm giving it out for free. This is God's gift. All that you need is the training. That's why we have the training program. Because otherwise, when you go out of this session, you will go and do whatever you have been doing. So that is very important, to discipline yourself. That's why the coaching program is important. Otherwise, it will automatically go into the negative mode. It needs training. Now, relax.
Now, I'd like you to stay in a meditative mode. You can open your eyes if you wish and look at the blue sky image. And take another moment of silence, quieting your mind or placing your focus on the blue sky. Okay, now slowly start to come back to yourself. And I'd like to have people, or have you put in the chat from a scale of 1 to 5, how much your thoughts changed. So I'll give you a little more backdrop on that. So the first meditation was before we put the blue sky in there, in our minds. And oftentimes, what Dr. Pillai talks a lot about is the number of thoughts that we have on a minute by minute basis. It's around 35 or more thoughts. And those thoughts are oftentimes something that perhaps just happened to us, or it's an anxiety that we have around money or relationships, or something about the past, or something about the future, something like that. And then I want to analyze, have you say on a scale of 1 to 5, did your thoughts change? Or did you have less thoughts? That might be easier. So did you have less thoughts on the second silent session after we did the cleansing negative cortex technique from Dr. Pillai? So as you're gathering your recollection about that, talk a little bit about the Akash and what this concept of air does. So this concept of blue sky clears the mind of all the distractions, of all the limitations that we have, all the thoughts we have about ourselves, and puts us into a different dimension, literally puts our mind in a different dimension so that we can move beyond the limited mind. And how Dr. Pillai does this is when he blesses for an entrepreneur program, like he's doing for this program, he doesn't do it from, it's going to be an incredibly different program. In other words, it's going to not be from your logical mind. It's not going to be birthed from your identity mind. It's going to be birthed from your divine mind. It's going to be birthed from your intuitive mind. Ideas will come and bubble up for you. So literally, that's the word he used, bubble up for you. I'm just reading here a little bit on chat, some of the people who are putting in their responses. Stephanie Louise said yes on the second one. So I assume yes means that the thoughts were lowered. Samir Sharma just said he felt less thoughts, but he doesn't quite know how they might have changed. Trey said he, on a scale of 1 to 10, 4, it changed. So that's a very high degree from the first meditation to the second one. Meta, absolute focus on the blue sky. Fantastic. You go deep into that blue sky and you can definitely change a lot of things in ideas or even decisions that you have to face right now. It could be anything. And I really feel something entering into my head. Samir, yes, Dr. Pillai Sankalpa, as we go through the meditation, he's speaking through it and he's ensuring that the energy is received by everybody. And we're all here doing this together. And this is a powerful technique together because we're all in the same mindset. So it's fantastic. And it's good that Dr. Pillai Sankalpa reached you. Mehal 3, okay, a little bit more. Only blue sky, fantastic. Sky's the limit. There is no limit. So fantastic. So it does look like people have changed a lot from the first to the second. Now, what does that actually, cleansing the negative cortex, we talked about it, removing identities, helps you think clearer. So clarity is huge. We all need more clarity. And that was actually the inspiration for doing the Enlightened Entrepreneur course, was an exercise that Dr. Pillai recently gave a group of us to have clarity about what something we'd like to create. And this is what he said. He said, I want you all to think of an idea for a project, not from your ego, but from your alter ego, from your divine mind. He didn't say divine mind. He only said alter ego, and he left it to us to figure out. And then he gave some explanation. He said, it's not going to be strategizing about how you could kind of take something you've already been working on and make it something bigger. It's not going to be this arduous task. It's going to bubble up. This idea will basically bubble up into your consciousness. And basically what he's talking about is it's coming from our intuitive mind. It's coming from a place in our brain that is not going to be laborious. And this is basically the tenet of everything that we're going to be doing in the entrepreneurial class. It's going to be an interaction and immersion with your God self. And it's going to have a framework around it that allows you to go ahead and access your God self. So what happened after this exercise? He gave this exercise, and I'll have to admit that I think the next day I thought, oh yeah, I've got a great idea. And it was an idea I'd had that I had been, hadn't exercised, but was an idea I'd had for the last several months, on and off in the back of my mind. I thought this is a great idea. And it was, it really was. It was an okay idea. Then one day in a flash, I was having a conversation with Mohini, who I think a lot of you know. In fact, she's teaching a course now on manifesting money from your divine mind. And it happened in about 15 seconds. It was around the Millionaire yoga and then teaching entrepreneurial learnings that I had received from a Wharton Business School class that I recently took at the blessing of Dr. Pillai. And gosh, we thought, okay, combining these two aspects together. And also, it wasn't just kind of bubbling up from us. Dr. Pillai recently, particularly very recently, has been laser focused on giving teachings, wisdom insights, guidances to help people create more financial inflow, more financial abundance, money, whatever you might want to call it, in their lives. So he has been giving these gold nuggets of teachings. That's kind of how I think of it, because his teachings are brief, concise, but incredibly powerful. He's been giving these wisdom guidance teachings for about the past 2 to 3 weeks. So it kind of was in a framework or in an atmosphere of this incredible manifesting energy that the inspiration for this course came. And it came totally out of my alter ego. I cannot say that I had had this thought before. So this was something that came within in a flash in about 15 seconds. And when you get an idea like this, you become so passionate about it because it's something that is from your soul. It's something that is yours. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those ideas and we're going to flush them out and build and train the brain to create an entrepreneurial mindset with that idea. Now, what I want you to do between now and in 10 days, we're going to have our second session. And our second session is going to be building on this session. It's going to be around goals and how to create goals that you can stick to. But it's a mindset, okay? Yeah, we're going to be doing some things where you write things down, but it's about having the right mindset for goal setting and the right mindset for setting the right goal, the right time frame, and also having your tenacity or your resilience to stick with that goal, your positivity to see that goal all the way through. So we're going to talk more about that in 10 days. What I want you to do between now and then is this blue sky meditation, because this is going to open up the possibilities for your goals to be authentic goals, as Dr. Pillai calls them, authentic goals that come from your soul, that come from your God self. And this meditation will give you that chance to come up with a project idea, even whatever it may be, to allow yourself to move into the goal setting. Okay, at this point, what I'm going to do, do we have questions about the meditation, about why we want to get rid of our identity, our personality around certain behaviors that we have? And if we don't, then I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about building the entrepreneurial mindset, training the entrepreneurial mindset, and in the Enlightened Entrepreneur class. So I'll just give it a few minutes here. And maybe as I talk, we'll have some questions come through on chat. So just a little bit more about this class. Of course, the inspiration I told you about, it came basically from my alter ego. I love entrepreneurship. I love it. I love everything about it. And that's why I actually signed up for that course at the Wharton Business School for continuing education. And the reason I love entrepreneurship in the way that Dr. Pillai teaches it is because it's not a journey of labor. It is a journey with your God self. It's a journey with what the intuition you have, which is always there, by the way. Everybody's intuitive. Everyone is 100% creative, 200% creative. But the problem is that our thoughts get in the way. And creativity is also decision making too. It's, to be creative in decision. You're faced with a problem. Do you just go to the lowest common denominator and solve it that way? Or do you think a little bit out of the box? Do you have more ideas? And the whole idea is to actually clear the mind so that you can get to these intuitions. You can get to these intuitions every moment that you are taking a step in anything in life. Doesn't just have to be an entrepreneur. So the course is going to teach us on how to access that part of the brain. And there are different parts at different levels as we step through this. Dr. Pillai is going to be guiding us with the right meditations to sort of unlock that and clear the mind, and also energize centers that are more focused around money, around positivity, around time management. Like waiting is a waste of time, right? We hear that from him a lot, but it's true. It's a waste of time. And if we move our attitude from, I'm not going to wait to the end of the month to do what I need to do here. I'm going to do it today, or I'm going to think of a way where it can happen today. So please tell about the exercise. Okay. Arun asked about the exercise, the one that we just did. So the blue sky, just kind of give a brief view on that again, is the blue sky is something that clears your identity. So it's clearing the negative cortex is the name of the meditation. How Dr. Pillai does it in this case, it isn't to go in and get rid of all the negativity. It's to go put a whole bunch of unlimited positivity into the full brain. So the akash is air. So that's the word for air. And air or space is something that gives us hope, gives us possibilities, because we don't have the limitations around our thoughts. So by putting the visualization of a blue sky and having that air, that akash, and having his divine sankalpa walking us through that meditation, it allows us to think thoughts in an unlimited way. So we're not stuck in our view of ourselves, our identities. It allows us to kind of break out of that, kind of poke a hole in our identity to get to another step. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to building the training for the enlightened entrepreneurial mind. The creativity will come first. That's where the idea comes in. Maybe some of you are going to even have your big idea in the next 10 days. Probably you will. So the other thing is that the idea, again, you're gonna know it is, because it's gonna hit this sort of sweet spot of being something that's not something you had to laboriously think of. And we're going to go ahead and take that idea that people are having in the course, and we'll have a whole session we'll have another session in that course about the creativity and the idea generation. So it's not that you'll be coming into the course with a preconceived idea. We will have the time and the training in order to be able to have that, conceive of that idea. And we're going to take that idea, and then from the divine mind, we're going to energize that idea to be something that can help you with your financial inflow, help you with your money. So sometimes some ideas are great, but they don't necessarily, or we haven't looked at them in that way. We haven't thought about the steps that we would take in order to have a financial generation from that. So Dr. Pillai is going to energize our brains to have that financial consciousness. He talks about it all the time, financial consciousness around our idea. we're going to also go ahead and cleanse the negative cortex, but in another way. And this way, it's going to help you at this stage. He will be training us to make right decisions. So the right decisions, not from fear, not from a level of limitation, but from a level of unlimitedness, the level of hope, positivity, a level of abundance, a win-win type of decision is what we're going to be going after. And that will come again from us. We have everything we need inside of us. We just need to kind of get through some and unlock some of these areas so that we can get through to it and open it up. And then we're going to awaken our emotions, and which is passion, right? So the thing about passion is sometimes we need we need sustained passion. We're excited at the beginning, and all of a sudden, as the project goes on, we sort of lose that level of excitement. But in this case, the excitement, the passion is going to be built upon multiple things, not just this one idea that we're holding on to. So the passion to move it forward. And then lastly, we will lock in for the abundance. And that is what the program is. We are going to be, someone is writing here, I think Samir says, I feel like I always know all this, but I'm ignoring this because my thoughts in the busy life. 100% is true. In fact, Dr. Pillai often guides that we're prioritizing what we do in the day. We have a task list, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to do this task list because I have to. That's, you think you have to, basically. But if you really looked at your day and you thought, well, how can I make this day most efficient? And we're going to work on this with an exercise. At the end of the day, you should say, I accomplished this, or I did not accomplish this, but you know what? Tomorrow I will. So you have to really analyze your mindset and what you're prioritizing that day to be something that's going to be productive for you and profitable for you. So I know someone's saying, Kalyani, you're saying you're interested in being an entrepreneur, but you don't know your niche. So that's not a problem. You know what? It took me 3 days to actually have this idea. So work with the blue sky meditation. And it's only, you have it, the idea is already there. It's only that we just need to clear out some of the thoughts that we have, emotions that we have, beliefs we have about what we can do and not do. So in the course, we will go more into that. But if you want to work on this in the next 10 days, of course, we're going to meet back. And we can talk a little bit more about this, kind of removing the clouds from the blue sky. So there is one thing we're going to be focusing on. So this is a 6-week course. We're going to be building this mindset, training in this mindset with Dr. Pillai's techniques from the Millionaire yoga course that he taught. And he's re-energized those teachings. He's also giving new teachings, especially designed for this course, which we will be playing as a recorded version. And I'll be guiding you through that. We also have amazing wisdom guidances, which I referred to before about Dr. Pillai and how his whole consciousness is immersed in helping people with their money. So that will also be there. And there'll be other types of behaviors and focuses and thought mining your thought labs where you can get into that and kind of really get into the inner levels and the deepest levels of your consciousness in order to be able to either solve a problem, make a decision, or come up with an idea. So that is that. We have an application process for this program, and there's no right or wrong answer, but I'm going to have Ronnie go ahead and put that into the chat. So if you are interested in the course, so first of all, first thing you have to do is you have to do your homework. And as you have to do this blue sky meditation. And then we're going to get into the next class. I'm going to talk about goals, because at that point, after you've done this blue sky meditation enough, you should be able to get in there and be synergistic or sort of vibrate with a goal that we want to create. On the other side, on the class side, on the course side, on the 6-week course, it's going to start in about 2 weeks, I believe. Then you can go ahead and put an application in, and we're going to be reviewing applications and letting people know right away. We also have a couple of levels for this course. So there'll be a fundamental level, and then there'll be more of a premier level, which gets into more of the thought bank labs, mining your thought labs, and some one-on-one coaching with me. And then after this mindset, Enlightened Entrepreneur Mindset course is over, we have the plans, and we're working out some curriculum to carry this forward. So we will have Enlightened Entrepreneur 2, Enlightened Entrepreneur 3, which will go deeper into concepts of building a business, whether it's for-profit or nonprofit, or just building something that helps you bring in more financial abundance. So with that, I'm going to have Ronnie go ahead and put in chat the application. It's the first step, and I'll take any questions that you might have at this point. And I think I'm trying to think if there was anything else I should have mentioned, but I think that's about it for this course. And I'm just going to give a few minutes for people to write any questions you might have. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about entrepreneurship vis-a-vis Dr. Pillai and how he does entrepreneurship and how he creates. It's actually a creation. It's a word for creating something, having a project. And he does it purely from his divine mind. And oftentimes, I've been blessed to witness his process, and we're going to try and capture as much of his divinity and how he makes decisions around certain projects and put it in this course. And a lot of things, maybe you've even heard it before, like waiting is a waste of time. But gosh, when you put it and apply it to a particular situation that you're in, it becomes a real life, not theoretical phrase, but a practical phrase. And that's what we're going to get. We really want people to have the breakthroughs in this, in this course and in the sessions leading up to the course that are free. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and close this session. Feel free to reach out. We also if you're on the email list, we will be sending the Blue Sky meditation, so you can have it in your email and you can do it daily. So you don't have to come all the time back to the YouTube. So just make sure you're on the email list and you're able to get the updates. All right, so I think we will close this session. I hope everyone has a beautiful Wednesday and a great next of the week. And I look forward to seeing you all in 10 days and hearing what happened in your journey with the Blue Sky meditation of cleansing the negative cortex in the next 10 days. Namaste.
Shrim Brazil, 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 Shrim Brazil.